There we go. All right, guys, the art of face-to-face networking. I wanted to tell you, I've been in business 25 years, and many of you here have been in longer than that, or maybe you're a new business. In the modern world, we think of digital era, if you will. Everything's online, and that's how we should network. I want to explain to you that there's absolutely no way that you should forget the fact that you need to do face-to-face networking. It's solid and it works well. So we'll get into the first part of the screen here. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
All right. So why networking in the digital era? Obvious reasons. It's not personal. What we're doing now is fun. It's great. And when we do it on social media, but I use all of that to back up meeting people face-to-face. Also, networking is inexpensive, and word of mouth is still the most effective form of advertising, just so that you know that. So think about that. When you go to do marketing, set yourself up to create word of mouth. Word of mouth doesn't come from clients you've already have. It does sometimes, but it also comes from people who have never worked with you before, but you've built a business relationship with them. Okay. So as it says underneath, people only do business with those that they know, like, and trust. And so that's important for you to remember that. Your goal is to become friends with them and build trust. Okay, and going backwards, there we go. People only do business with those that they know, like, and trust. So think of this. One of the biggest mistakes, and Chuck, I think you've experienced this before, people join a networking group. I pay $300 a year for it. You know, you can't get an ad in a magazine for a week for that price. And the guy joined in my group. He was a rain gutter guy. And he didn't get anything, but he also didn't give anything. He didn't put back time into the networking group. He was there 2 weeks and bailed out. So I called him and said, what's the deal? And he goes, well, I didn't get anything. He made this mistake, and that's the number one bullet point here. When you pay to join a networking group, you're not paying for referrals, but rather for a structured opportunity to build relationships. You see, the referrals come from the relationships, but the structured opportunity is what they're providing. It's an hour and 15 minutes out of your life to go there and focus on networking, shaking hands, getting to know people. You only get out of what, next bullet point, you only get out of it what you put into it. Always attend your meetings early and plan to stay late. The best networking takes place before the meeting starts and after the meeting. And absolutely great things happen during the meeting as well. Be prepared. You have to have a 30-second commercial. We call it an elevator speech. You've heard it 100 times. But, what is it that you do as a photographer, and present that 30-second commercial so that you can get it out there at the drop of a hat, always. It's very important. Keep business cards on you at all times. Our business cards, old-fashioned, no, they still work. They're very important. Some people don't want them. They'll take cell phone pictures of them. But nonetheless, it's something you have on you. Keep extras in your car in case you forget to bring them with you. I have them in my car, my briefcase. There's a box of cards under the seat, some in the glove box. I have a truck and a car. There's some in the other car. And I have some in my wife's car in case I'm in her car for whatever reason. They're always there. So preparation is really important to be successful. Take this weekly networking meeting that you're joining and put it on your calendar, your iCal, Google Calendar, whatever it is, and make it a reoccurring event. It's a business appointment. It's not, I don't feel like going. I don't like the speaker. It's not about that. It's about building relationships. And you can't build those relationships if you're not there to do that. So I don't interrupt my meetings. Occasionally, because I'm a school photographer, my meetings are in the morning, I'll have to miss. But I always send someone from my office or someone within the networking group from another chapter that can fill in for me. And that way my message is still being given, if you will, while we're there. Treat it like a business meeting. It's important, guys. It really is. It's time. It takes time. Number one thing. Okay, I joined 2 weeks later. Where's my referrals? It doesn't work that way. It takes time to build trust. In a sense, you're dating these people, but for business reasons. And it takes a long time to build that, sometimes up to 12 months. So it's important to hold on to that and continue to build those relationships. And of course, the obvious is to always dress in a way that represents the quality and service you provide. You only get a few minutes for that first impression. when you attend the weekly meeting, and they also have socials at these networking groups, monthly and so on, do not make it your goal to hand out as many cards as possible. So if you can read that, that comes off as car salesmanship. It's not good, guys. What you want to do is maybe meet 4 or 5 really great people and spend time with them. Start a conversation with them, and it doesn't have to be about what you do. Don't run in and go, hey, I'm a photographer. Here's a card. Do you have kids? I do portraits. Do you have a, it doesn't work that way. Ask them first. So what do you do? And they're going to share with you. And then you ask them about their family. And I'm also listening. Okay, he has kids. I can do that. He runs a company with 30 employees. I got headshots. I got all these things in my head, but I don't throw them out there. I take his business card when it's over, write notes on the back of it, put it in my pocket. That night I go home, I email that person. Hey, thanks for talking to me. It's great to hear about your 4 children, blah, blah, blah. It's very important to do that and follow up and repeat those meetings over and over again. And that's where the trust comes in. I'm going to give you a guesstimated number that about 75% of my business comes from networking. So it's very important. It's better to have in-depth conversation with 4 or 5 so you can see all that, actually care about them. In other words, don't pretend to care just so that you can get something out of them. Actually give a crap. I love my clients and my networking partners. They're part of my life, and they have been now. It's later in my talk, but I joined my networking group in 1999, and I've been a member with nonstop through the whole time. I've got people that have retired that still call, communicate, and send me referrals from a long time ago. These people are important to me. They're a part of my life. They've become part of my circle, but they've also helped build my business. Always look them in the eyes when you're talking to them. Find something common to discuss, of course. After they've handed your business card, I already said that, write on it so that you'll remember what you talked about. Put it in your pocket, pull it out later. I have one coat pocket that has my cards in it and one that has theirs in it. So when I reach for mine, I know where it's at. After you email them, after the event is over and you've emailed them, seek them out on social media and friend them. So now you've met them, and the fact that you're in front of them all the time on social media is backing up everything that you do when you see them in person. So that's always important. And reach out of the blue to some of these people. It's a good thing to do. Ask them to have coffee. Do what networkers call a one-on-one. And don't try to sell them. And they're not going to try to sell you. But my question to them is, how can I help you grow your business through referrals or my photography service? All right. Now, I would say the easiest client to get is the one you already have a relationship with. So it's either someone you've photographed already or those that you know and hang out with in your networking groups. Join a minimum of 2 networking groups. I'm in 3. BNI is an important one to get into. It's a little strict, but you will get referrals from it. Of course, your Chamber of Commerce has all kinds of networking events on a regular basis. There's FNI, Free Networking International. And yes, the Professional Photographers Association. I come to TAPA, FPP, and PPA to learn, but I also come to network. And there's a lot of guys in this chat right now that we're on, as well that are members, and I shouldn't say guys, some are ladies, that we throw work back and forth to each other. So I go to those meetings whether I want to hear the speaker or not. It doesn't matter. I am there to shake hands and greet my friends because I'm grateful for the work they send me, and I'm also grateful for the ability to send it to them when I'm not available. So it's an educational group, but it's a networking group. But you can't network if you're not there. Let's see, how are we doing on time? We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, 6 minutes. Networking is the #1 best thing I did for my business. 25 years of business. I was alone. It's a tiny business, working from home in a little bedroom. Of course, I'm working from home now because of the COVID. But a lady I ran into in the community invited me, Marie Stempinski. After I got to know her, she didn't like men very well, but for some reason she liked me quite a bit, took me under her wing and taught me how to network. I'm sad to say Marie's not with us anymore. She passed away, but she taught me a lot, and that was, 1999. And it says, of course, I've made lifelong friends, and I talk to them quite often. So guys, when you go to do this, own the process, be patient, and it will happen. Again, I've said it 100 times, it doesn't happen overnight. It's important to understand that. It takes time to build these relationships. Why a relationship versus a targeted ad on Facebook? I have found personally, you may say different. Targeted ads, the people that come to me because of those ads, next time they need a photographer, they go to whoever's in their newsfeed next, and the loyalty isn't there. But because there's a friendship, the loyalty is there, okay? And I want to explain something I forgot. Let's back up for a second. The different networking groups I mentioned, also association networking groups. If you want to do headshots, join the local Realtors Association. I was part of the Tampa Bay Builders Association for over 15 years before the '08 crash, the market crash in '08. That's how I got all my home builders that I photographed for. I photographed all their galas. I went to all their networking events, their socials, their happy hours, and all of that, and built friends. And I worked probably for every single member that was there. It really works. So if you're looking to get into a certain area of business, join the association and become a part of it and get to know their people. That's how it worked. So it's important. A successful story, I joined a Rotary Club. Sadly, that particular club disbanded, and I ended up joining a networking group instead. I don't mind Rotary, it's great. A lawyer in that group called me 15 years after my membership in that association and hired me to do a 400-person school reunion. So networking works, and it has everlasting effect on the people you contend with. And my last words are always jump in. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Don't stop your digital marketing. You have to digital market. But do your face-to-face networking and back it up with your digital marketing. I'm telling you, you'll build a better foundation and you'll have a really strong clientele. My clients, most of them won't go anywhere else. They've been with me a long time. And it was all from networking, totally networking. A lawyer, Eric Luden, is a lawyer in town. I met him in my networking group, and he introduced me to his wife. She works at Menorah Manor. We photograph all of their special events and galas. And his wife introduced me to her sister, and she is in charge of the St. Petersburg Free Clinic. That one's something I chose to do to give back, but nonetheless, it was activity in the community and a form of marketing. So I ended up 3 clients in one, all within 1 year. And I could go down the list for hours like that. So that's really my talk. How many here, if you don't mind, go ahead and answer. How many of you here continue to network? Anybody out there doing this type of thing? All right, cool. And what are you in, Bill?
Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club. So I recently joined the Rotary Club here locally in Seminole. So that's all kind of new. But since my retirement from the fire service, I was never able to be part of BNI. That's something I'm looking at now. So I was never able to do it before because of the constraints of it. But I'm very serious in getting back involved in that. So I believe in it. So everything you said is the gospel, I think.
Awesome. Well, I just have a few minutes left here. Let me look, minute and 35. And I can only tell you that networking is a big part. It's time consuming. It's a hassle. Somebody wants to book a gig and I've got a networking meeting or whatever. But if you don't dig in, it's not going to work for you. And I can only tell you all 1,000 times over again that the relationships go so much deeper than clients that have called me through some sort of marketing effort that's not face-to-face. And so if you guys have any questions, you can always reach me through my website about that. I'd be glad. Chuck Voshberg is a marketing master. I've learned a lot from him. And, so I would say join. No matter whether you're a commercial photographer, a portrait photographer, babies, newborns. If you're a newborn photographer, join a mommy's club. If you're a wedding photographer, then obviously you're going to join some sort of wedding association and network with people in that industry. Randy Van Dynen, you're a member of the Architectural Association, right?
AIA. And I got to tell you a story about Rob here. The only reason I'm in Tampa is because of Rob. Rob and I, back in 2007, 2008, we're competitors. I mean, he was working the Home Builders Association. He was, and so was I. He was photographing it. We met, and he invited me to Tampa, and that's why I've joined. It was all because of Rob, and again, networking. I try to network in different places with interior designers and architects and builders. And, you know, networking is how I get most of my work. I get some from my website, but most of it comes from networking.
Excellent. Thank you, Randy. That's a good way to top that off. Moormanphoto.com. You can email me through that website, guys, and I would be glad to answer you.
Are you networking right now?
Yes, sir. Always. Hey, guys, let me tell you, Moorman Photographics, we specialize in family portraits. We don't take pictures. We create photographs that last a lifetime. Bam.
Amen, brother.
Thank you.